Why Leonor's crown is under threat. Morning light cuts through tall windows, catching dust that has not moved in decades. The room is awake before the city is. Stone, wood, and ritual hold their breath. A young woman stands where certainty is expected, not learned. Her posture is exact, her expression disciplined. She is Princess Leonor de Bourbon y Ortiz, and the weight she carries is not ceremonial. It is structural. A crown survives not by inheritance alone, but by a nation's continued willingness to believe in it. Spain's monarchy exists inside a narrow corridor of consent. It does not command, it reassures. Its authority is borrowed daily from public acceptance, renewed quietly, or not at all. This is the living thread of continuity. Unbroken not because it is strong, but because it is carefully protected from strain. From the outside, the crown appears stable. Rituals continue. Language remains formal. The line of succession is clear. But stability is not permanence. And belief is not guaranteed. At around 2 minutes, the first reframing settles in. The threat to Leonor's crown is not sudden. It is cumulative. Spain has changed faster than its symbols. Generational memory has thinned. The emotional connection that once shielded the monarchy has weakened into conditional tolerance. Continuity is not abstract here, it is embodied in visible presence. And visibility today invites scrutiny, not reverence. The monarchy was restored to stabilize a fragile state. Its purpose was never passion. It was balance, a neutral anchor above political fracture. That function remains, but the environment around it has shifted. At 5 minutes, the phrase returns, no longer dramatic, but analytical. Because danger does not always announce itself as opposition. Sometimes it appears as indifference. As delayed loyalty. As a public that no longer instinctively defends what once felt inevitable. In the United States, the Spanish crown is not followed emotionally, but it is assessed institutionally. Stability matters. Predictability matters. A monarchy that struggles to justify itself signals uncertainty in the broader system. In the United Kingdom, the understanding is sharper. They recognize the pattern. A young heir inheriting not confidence, but questions. A crown intact in law, yet fragile in sentiment. Canada and Australia observe through inherited distance. Their own relationship to monarchy is symbolic, conditional, and increasingly debated. Spain becomes a mirror, proof of resilience, or warning of erosion. Germany watches without nostalgia. As a republic grounded in constitutional clarity, it studies Spain as a case of whether inherited legitimacy can still function in an era that demands transparency. At 8 minutes, the deeper mystery emerges. The threat is never named directly. Is it relevance? Is it trust? Or is it the silent realization that the original bargain, monarchy in exchange for stability, may be expiring? The crown does not ask this aloud. To ask would be to acknowledge doubt. And doubt is contagious. Instead, the institution invests in preparation, education, discipline, visibility carefully measured. Leonor is trained to embody continuity before she ever exercises authority. Because authority, here, is symbolic first. But symbols rely on belief. And belief cannot be legislated. At the midpoint, around 10 minutes, an institutional strain becomes perceptible. Not a crisis, a pressure. Public trust is no longer automatic. It must be earned, but earning it risks politicizing the crown. Remaining silent preserves neutrality, but invites distance. This is the paradox. The monarchy survives by not competing with politics. Yet it exists within a political culture that increasingly demands explanation. At 14 minutes, the point of no return approaches quietly. What happens when neutrality is interpreted as absence? When silence reads as detachment rather than dignity? This is where crowns weaken. Not when challenged, but when they fade from emotional relevance. National identity is woven into these rituals, but identity itself is evolving. Regional loyalties. Generational priorities. A public less inclined to inherit reverence. Leonor's crown will not be tested by rebellion. It will be tested by patience. By 19 minutes, a future threat takes shape, carefully, responsibly. If the crown becomes one institution among many rather than a stabilizing symbol above them, its function changes. And once function changes, justification follows. Justification invites debate. Debate invites division. Crown under danger. The phrase now feels less ominous, more factual. Because danger here is structural, not dramatic. The palace still stands. The rituals continue. The line of succession remains intact. But the future depends on something no constitution can command. Belief. In the final moments, the image returns to the quiet room. The measured stance. The inherited role not yet tested by decision, but by time. The crown waits. The nation watches. And history, as always, has not finished asking its questions. Even if the answers are not yet ready to be spoken, the atmosphere changes subtly after the cameras leave. Not lighter, more deliberate. This is where institutions reveal their instincts. The Spanish crown does not respond to threat with urgency. It responds with calibration. Every appearance, every silence, every word weighed against a single metric: endurance. Princess Leonor de Borbón y Ortiz is now old enough to understand that the crown she is expected to inherit is no longer defended by memory alone. It must coexist with skepticism. And skepticism is patient. The institution knows that legitimacy today is conditional. Granted quietly, withdrawn without warning. The danger facing Leonor's crown is not concentrated in one moment or movement. It is dispersed across